people to thoroughly research a topic and its effects and how one can accordingly strategize their points in order to defend their stance.
So I would like to applaud our 4 finalists for making it to the final rounds of the debate. Yesterday, we witnessed several fine debates which were instructive to the participants as well as the audience. And some of the topics discussed included the UNSC, cryptocurrency, and even the state of refugees. The teams here have stood their ground and have done exceptionally well and fully deserve to be here in the semifinals of Debate 2022.
None of this would have been possible without the unwavering support of our sponsors, our course partner, Geeks for Geeks, our Green Goodies partner, Green Souls, the NGOs, GCWS, and BIPA, our eco-friendly sponsor.
And we would also like to welcome our esteemed judges amongst us today, and they are none other than Elton Limos and Abhishek Yadav, who have guided us tremendously in shortlisting our semi-finalists who will be debating.
First up, we have Team A, Tanmay and Saran. Then we have Team H, Rachel and Uzma. We have Team K, Kritika and Spencer. And the fourth team, Team P, Rahul Rathod and Binil Varghese.
So let's get on with it, shall we? Let's hear it from the participants. Are you ready? Can all the participants please respond? Yes, they're ready. Let's assume they're ready. Now let's hear it from the judges. Are the judges ready? And now let's see it from our audience. Guys, spam the chat box, everyone. Is the audience ready? Ready? Everyone spams the chat box, hopefully. Then let's start.
One second.
Yeah?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Judges and Jyotika are here.
Okay. Hi,
Yeah.
Hi guys.
And Chinmay.
Yeah.
Chinmay, who's streaming today?
Pratham is streaming. I've already informed him.
Acha, okay. जब भी link आएगा, just send it, okay?
Yeah. Just and I've put something for you in the chat. Just check now, personally.
First, do you want to talk about all the doubts we had? Actually, Abhishek and Elton, we were thinking if you could make it clear what you are expecting from us, that would be great.
What we're expecting from you guys?
In terms of moderation, because Jyotika and I, we were thinking that we would split the time and the moderation, like a timekeeper and the moderator.
Basically, I guess one primary requirement is just that you need to interrupt whenever they are passing 1 minute. You can't just space out when they are talking. I guess the person who's timekeeper, he really doesn't need to pay attention for the conversation. The moderator, on the other hand, has to pay attention to what the conversation is. The timekeeper only has one duty, is to see whether it's exceeding time or not. That's it.
Okay, and you guys saw the time stipulations, right? That's
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
2 minutes opening, closing, and 12 minutes of the refutation.
Yeah. Elton?
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking, that we should, before the semi-finals begin, we should tell the participants, how they have to behave and what we expect from them. So that, the refutation round does not go somewhere else and it stays on track, at least.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
If the organizers don't mind.
No, feel free.
Or, the moderator itself can say this. We don't need to say it.
What we can do is, after the moderator gives the rules and everything, we can give them a clarification that this is the things that we are looking for in the debate.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
So this time we are not doing in the finals, we are not doing the 2-part process, correct?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, is it possible for you to ask the participants to, like, their name can be set as A Tanmay
Yes,
Gokarn?
I'll ask them to name themselves like that.
Yeah, that would be better.
So, Shri, the participants asked for the link.
We'll send it in a couple of minutes. Wait, I'll put a message first, like their naming conviction, and then let them jump. Jill, send the judges wala the rubrics Google form on the group now.
Yeah, I'm sending. Just a minute.
Also, I'm testing the bell right now. Just let me know if it's audible. I mean, abhi I guess audible rahega, but during like when they're speaking, I'm not so sure. So, was that audible right now?
Yes.
It
Yeah.
was, but my concern is while speaking, it will not be be able to overheard.
So a couple of people can a couple of people speak now so that I can test it out.
Elton, please speak. Elton, please speak as loud as you can.
Why are you asking me to speak? Why do you always want me to speak? Can't you
Ring
ever
the
speak
bell,
for
was
ring the
yourself?
bell, ring
You
the bell.
always
Going
want me
time
to
is
speak.
going
Can't
over
you
time.
ever
Ring the bell,
understand that
ring
there are
the
other
bell, ring
people
the
who
bell.
have to speak as well?
No,
There
this
is
is
no
not
need
fair.
for
This
you
is
to
not
speak.
fair.
Because
This is not
sometimes
fair.
other
You
people
are
can
going
also
beyond
speak.
your
You always
time.
don't have to put
Kushri,
me in the middle of it.
y'all can
Okay?
stop. Let me know. I was audible.
Over
It was
this, I
audible.
could not hear
It
the
was
bell.
audible.
Even I could
It
not
was
hear the
audible.
bell.
It's
I
not.
think they.
You can't notice it if you're in the floor. Honestly, though.
Ah.
So we'll do what we did with the chat box yesterday.
Or by any chance, can we have a buzzer, online buzzer only, like for word games, how we had?
Oh wait.
Yeah, we can do that.
I thought no.
No,
Ek
There are
second,
things called as a
fun.
soundboard. So one person who's not using their mic, like as if someone who's recording, maybe that person can use a soundboard where instead of the microphone, you can use a buzzer which plays as the microphone. Please tell me there is someone who knows how to do that.
Miles and Boomer.
Aiden, do you know how to do that?
I do, but
Yes, we have a buzzer guy. Yes.
wow.
You can join from another link with some other name.
Acha, nahi, if you could just tell me how to do it because I'll be keeping track of time. So that would.
Let me see whether there is any free application that lets you do that first.
I found a buzzer, but it's very annoying.
Can you play it?
Like, I think I'll have to share my screen for that. Like, it's a website I found.
Otherwise, what you can do is also, if you're sharing your screen only, you can also share the timing kind of. That could also be good.
I think
Okay, so
we're not
rather
sharing
than a
the
buzzer.
screen, like we're going to be spotlighting the actual participants. So screen sharing may not be done.
Also, do we let audience in this Zoom meet, or do the audience just watch from YouTube?
Elton, what are the repercussions if we let them in?
It depends on like who comes in, right? If troublemakers come in, then that would be a problem. But if I
No,
trust
like
everyone
we
who join in, then
can
it's
we
fine.
can disable the chat box, but
From
there may
a
be
views
people.
perspective, YouTube would be better.
Yeah,
From an engagement
Alright.
perspective, obviously Zoom would be better.
I mean, we don't want them asking questions or interrupting it, right?
But he's going to disable chat box, they're saying, no?
No, but then some of them tend to add extra comments in the chat. So I think, YouTube is
Chat
safe.
can be disabled, but then people may
But
like
in case
unmute and
buzzer ka,
Yeah, the unmute one. Yeah, exactly. They can unmute and say something.
nice. So let us keep YouTube for the audience.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Works.
Okay. I mean, you can, like, there are some trusted people that you can send the link to.
I'll
but
share
then,
the Zoom link with teachers and
I guess
like
that would be
Saurabh
better.
sir, people like that will be interested.
and then,
Yep.
The co-host can also mute people, no? Like in case there is someone causing disturbance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the co-host can mute definitely. Yeah, it's a Zoom meet.
So then you just make me or Angelica the co-host. If anyone misbehaves, then we'll just mute them.
So that's how we steal power, is it?
You all are already.
Wait,
Yes.
who do I
Already
mute?
the co-host.
Tell me. I want
That's
to try
just
this
a
out.
guise.
Someone please mute Elton ASAP. Let's try it out.
I muted both of you.
I'm not falling for that trap.
I'm asking to unmute. Okay. Yeah,
But you
muted.
can, if you mute me also, I can still unmute myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah,
Need to
one
reign
person
over my
do
parade.
You can
one
remove.
person do have a trigger finger, because at times some people forget to unmute, and when the opposition is saying something, that time it's breaking the flow of thought.
Yeah, I think YouTube works best. We don't want interruptions here.
Chinmay, it has started streaming.
Yeah, it has.
Aren't there like reactions and stuff that you can show why? So can you
You
like
can raise the hand or something.
Yeah,
I guess
you
raise the
can.
thumb?
Yeah, reactions are
hand.
there over here. I see.
No, but is it visible? Like, okay, can you play a scenario where
Elton,
someone...
you're raising your hand to speak.
Yeah,
No,
Sushi
I'm just raising my hand.
I am lucky.
Yeah, the reactions are visible.
Nice.
Hmm.
Imagine
So when
the
you're-
participants not doing something well and Elton is laughing.
But I mean, yeah, that is a very possible situation. Yesterday I was really controlling myself, but that's also one more thing I wanted to tell. Like, there is that aspect which they can use on an online platform, expressions. You can literally throw off your opponent on the basis of expressions.
Do we share the link with the participants? Are we ready?
Yep.
Angelica, Lisan.
Wait, where's
Yes.
our suit, by the way? Aren't we also supposed to get like a coat and stuff?
What?
What?
I mean, all of you guys are wearing a coat, so I
Elton,
assume
It
it's only
starts
fair.
3.
Elton, I have something for you. Virtual placement final year. I gave you a quote, remember?
Okay.
Yeah. Wear that and come.
The question is, I don't think it will fit me anymore, bro. You have no idea of my diet for the last 1 week. It has only been beer.
Wait. I'll give a reaction. You can see if it's working.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. At least it was a smiley face and not like something like this.
Jyotika, the rules which I had sent yesterday, it's the same rules, but Elton, we're removing that sentence, right? Any electronic devices will not be allowed during the debate, wala?
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
There's
so
no way to
minus
enforce
that-
it anyways.
Right. So minus that, I think everything else we are considering. And I'm sharing the link with participants.
So can we tell them that you are allowed to use, but you might have to cite it, or let's not let it be.
Well, let's just not read it in the rules. If they pay attention, they pay attention. If not, then
Okay.
But you might find them just reading out.
because if you explicitly say it, then people will actually start googling between the debate, and then
I mean, but they lose points because they're not engaging with the question instantly, right? It's not like we are just going to be like, oh, search. We'll also wait. We'll wait 2 minutes. You aram se search. Don't worry.
Then this is a batch that give online exams. They know how to Google.
yeah.
Fair enough.
They know how to frame it, just for the question. So
Uh-huh.
even that.
Let me collect my thoughts. I shall get back to you in a couple of seconds.
So we don't need to read the rules before once for the semi-finals and before the finals one more time.
Once and for all in the start, you read it, and then I think it will be understood by every team.
Yeah, I mean, actually, you're not even supposed to be repeating rules so many times as much as we did last time.
No, okay, like before beginning this session, like before all the debates, once the rules will be read, and since the time stipulations are changing for the finals, so I guess we can only read the revised time stipulations rather than reading the entire rules again.
Are you all sending the rules to the participants in WhatsApp or something? A written format? Yeah, then
We have already sent it.
Okay. Yeah, so reading them once is good enough. Also, add one more point into the rules is that any objectionable actions are not going to be entertained until the opposition mentions them or points it out.
Brings them up. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't say entertained, acted upon would be the correct term.
Pointed out.
As in, till the opposition tells me that, yeah, they are
They
using a
won't be
personal
considered.
comment. Yeah, they won't be considered. Like how we have a new point was raised. You have to mention that, yeah, the opposition has raised a new point. That's why we are not going to consider it.
Should we share the link with the participants now?
Yes.
Also. Or Sushri, you're sending, or I'll send?
I'll send. And after we are done reading the rules, Abhishek and Elton, feel free to add any changes or anything you expect, like in the apart from the rules.
Yep. Thank you.
And also, I've sent the YouTube link on the group, so you can share it with your friends or family. Also that the new rule, not a new rule basically, but the person who is reading the opening statement cannot answer first during the refutation round.
Yeah, cannot make
Right?
the first.
That is something else.
The first remarks. Yeah.
I was going to point that out yesterday, but then
Yesterday, Abhishek did tell me about it, but then the debate had already started, and I think two debates were over. So then we thought we'll implement it starting today.
Also, is it anywhere explicitly written that the opening statement and closing? I mean, it's an obvious rule that opening statement and closing statement have to be given by the two different.
Yes, it's written. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it is. It is written.
Rahul, Rachel, will it be possible for you to rename yourself according to the format you have sent?
To do that, and
Yeah, same here. I couldn't find
I
the
just
settings.
directly got in.
Okay,
You
can
guys
tell
need
me?
to log in the Chrome, like the Zoom website.
Oh,
Log in
no,
there and
I can rename for them. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm in team
Rachel, you're
H.
H, right?
Yeah.
Okay, done. Rahul, your team.
I'm team P.
Done.
You can rename me also.
Yeah.
Thank
Feel
you.
like I'm giving baptism.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm here. Somewhere. Rachel and Rahul, your partners are joining.
Yeah, I just sent her a message.
Okay, cool.
Meanwhile, everyone
Yeah,
who's
Binal
joined
is on
can
as well.
check your audios and videos.
Recording in progress.
Hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
You're audible.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
Kritika, you're
Kritika.
audible. Yes, Saran, you're audible.
I hope I'm audible.
You're audible.
Yes, Spencer.
Tanmay Gokana. 9.
Tanmay, try again.
Tanmay Gok. एक मिनट था.
Tanmay, your audio is bit problematic.
Tanmay Gokarna.
Okay, clear.
Okay, thanks.
Am I audible, Angelika? If at any point I'm not audible or my voice is cracking, just text me.
Is
Who is the
my
moderator?
audible?
Jyotika.
Okay.
Everyone is audible.
Yeah, I think Uzma is here.
Yeah, Uzma is here and Benil is also here.
Also, like, could I know who's recording the session right now?
Me, I'm recording.
Okay, okay.
So all the semi-finalists are here, right? With your partners. Uzma and Binil, can you guys also please turn on your cameras? Just for checking. Yeah.
And your audio too, Binil.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
audible.
you are.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes,
you're
Uzma,
audible.
you're audible. Jyotika.
Is this loud enough?
I mean, when it's quiet, it is, but can people start talking again?
Can you please put it on the chat box? While speaking, we can't really hear the noise of the bell. Like, so
I don't mind putting it on the chat
Yeah,
box.
please.
It's
Yeah,
just
the
that
chat
you
box
guys
is
should.
convenient.
Yeah, we get like the pop-up message that whatever chat you guys have put, so just put it there only, please.
All right, then that works for
Okay.
everyone, right? The chat
Yeah.
box.
And
Or
I
you
think
can
we
just
can
like,
put
unmute and
reactions.
say, guys, only like 10 seconds or whatever.
That will be
That
little
will be interrupted.
interrupting and off-putting. So like that's why the
See, I'll show you how it will.
you can tell us after the entire time is up, but in between just put the message.
Cool, fine. Cool.
Okay. All right, everybody is here, right? Angelica Lisan.
Yes, I can see almost everyone. Team
Yeah,
A,
okay.
Bhopal, team.
So we are not using the bell now. I'll be putting it in the chat. Okay.
Yeah, it works.
And yeah, I guess if everyone's here, we can start.
Elton, Abhishek,
Yes.
we can start now, right?
Yes.
Elton.
I'm gonna ask him to unmute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
So let's start.
Let's start.
Okay. So, Lisan, what is so special about today? Like, what is it? Like everyone's all hyped up. What's
Well,
going on?
Today is an exceptionally majestic as the final day of Xavier Institute of Engineering's Cultural and Technical Fest for the year 2022.
And we are ending this fest on a particularly grand note, and that is with the semifinals and the finals of debate.
Throughout history, we've read many people have always been compelled to make difficult decisions about various issues with respect to the world in order to establish peace, simultaneously while ensuring harmony.
A proper decision is always considerate of different opinions as well. However, each person is unique and everyone has their own perspective on an issue. A way to resolve these differences is debate. It can uncover several hidden points regarding a topic which may not be uncovered in discussion.
Heated intensity of having it right, an actual motivator for people to research a topic and its effects, how one can accordingly strategize their points in order to defend their stance.
And I would personally like to applaud our 4 finalists for making it to the final rounds of the debate. Yesterday, we witnessed several fine debates which were instructive to the participants as well as the audience. And some of the topics discussed included the UNSC and India, cryptocurrency, and even the state of refugees. The teams have stood their ground and have done exceptionally well and fully deserve to be here in the semi-finals of debate 2022.
None of this would have been possible without the unwavering support of our sponsors, our course partner, Geek for Geeks, our Green Goodies partner, Green Souls, the NGO, Garbage Concern Welfare Society, and BEPA, our eco-friendly sponsors.
And we would also like to welcome our esteemed judges amongst us today. And they are none other than Elton Limos and Abhishek Yadav, who have guided us tremendously in shortlisting our semi-finalists who will be debating today.
So before we go ahead, let's have a quick video to thank our sponsors. Sushri?
Just a second.
Well, so I would like to introduce our teams here. First up, we have Team A, Tanmay and Sarang. Then we have Team H, Rachel and Uzma. We have Team K, Kritika and Spencer, and a fourth team, Team P, consisting of Rahul Rathod and Binil Varghese.
So let's get on with it, shall we? Let's hear it from our participants. Are you guys ready?
Yes, we are ready.
Yes.
Very much.
Okay.
Trying to sound ready.
Yes. you are ready, trust me. And let's hear it from our judges. Are the judges ready? Elton,
Yes.
Abhishek,
Yes.
Of course.
ever ready?
Excited.
And now let's see it from our audience. Come on, guys, spam the chat box. Is the audience ready? Oh, wow. Okay.
Flooding. They are ready.
Then let's start with the final event of Spandan 2022 debate. Okay. So let's start with round 1 of the semi-finals between Team A and Team H. Cassandra?
I'll be reading the rules now. Okay. So as it was in the previous round, each team will consist of 2 members, and the rules go as follows. The proposition starts the debate while the opposition raises the first point in the refutation round. One speaker of the team makes the opening speech while the other makes the closing speech. Personal comments of any kind directed against the opposite team are strictly prohibited. Participants cannot comment on the opposite team's stance or statements made in previous debates of the competitions. Negative marking speaking is therefore exceeding time limit. No new points may be introduced in the closing speech. If a certain team does bring up a new point, the opposition may request the moderator an opportunity to point out the new points at the end of the closing speech. Discrepancies of any sort during the debate will be resolved at the moderator's discretion. The decision will be final and binding. The teams have a right to ask for a fact check if they feel that their opponent is misleading the debate. The moderator will be responsible for doing a fact check, and his or her decision will be final. The time taken by the moderator to complete the fact check will not be included in the time of the debate. The participants will be judged upon the following criteria: content, use of quotations, body language, diction and vocal delivery, logical illustration and analysis, and discipline maintained during the refutation round. So the time stipulations are as follows. For the semi-finals, a 2-minute opening speech and a 2-minute closing speech has to be given. A warning bell after 1 minute 30 seconds, or rather a warning chat in this case, after 1 minute 30 seconds, and one after 2 minutes is up will be given, and no new points may be introduced after the warning message. Contestant may, however, complete their current point and summarize. However, the contestants are expected to conclude in the next 30 seconds, and he or she will not be allowed to speak more than 2 minutes for the opening and the closing speeches. There are 12 minutes allotted for the prime refutation or the debate, and 2 warning bells or warning messages, one after 8 minutes and one after 10 minutes will be given. Also, all the participants are expected to keep their cameras on during the entire time that they are debating, and please ensure that there is no background disturbance or noise on your side. Some additional things to be kept in mind are any objectionable actions by your opponent will not be considered until it is pointed out by you to the moderator. And also, one more thing to keep in mind is the person who makes the opening speech cannot make the first remarks during the refutation. So please keep this additional things in mind. Now I hand over to the judges if they want to add anything or guide you as to how you should conduct yourselves during the debate.
I think Sushri, from my side, you've covered everything, what I would like to tell them. Abhishek, do you have anything?
Yeah. So during the refutation round, let's stick with the Oxford format, and I want you to ask a question. If the opposition has asked you a question, then you answer that question, and you ask a question and you move on. So let's maintain some decorum there, and not make it into an opening speech or a closing remark there. So let's stick with what the refutation round has to be. Yesterday, in some cases, we sort of had speeches in that refutation round. So let's not repeat that today. Rest, Sushri has covered everything, so keep that in mind.
All right, and I would like to introduce our moderator, Jyotika. So, Jyotika,
Yes.
start.
So we have Team A and Team K with us. In Team A, we have Tanmay Gokam and Sarang Diodar. Is there videos on? Yeah. And in Team K, we have Pritika Singh and Spencer Lobo. Are there videos on? Yeah. So the topic is resolution. The United Nations has failed in its mission to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, and the House proposes it to be disbanded. I repeat, the United Nations has failed in its mission to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, and the House proposes it to be disbanded. And A speaks in proposition, and Team K speaks in opposition. Okay, so now we'll start the debate. The proposition may begin with their opening speech now.
Good evening, respected judges. We are gathered here to see how the United Nations have failed to keep their promise and been the front for big countries to bully the small countries. The United Nations, UN, was set up in 1945 after the Second World War as an international umbrella organization with several objectives, primarily including prevention of war and maintaining peace in disputed areas. However, the UN has failed several times across the world, mostly because of the right to veto at the disposal of 5 countries. Let me note some points here. The ongoing confrontations in the disputed Kashmir region has become one of the greatest human rights crises in history, marked by wanton killings, rape, incarcerations of leaders and activists, torture, disappearances of Kashmiris, despite several unimplemented UN resolutions over the issues. Other issues are Israel-Palestine war, Cambodia violence, Somali civil war, Rwandan civil war, Darfur conflict in Sudan, Iraq invasion, Syrian civil war, South Sudan war, Yemen civil war, Rohingya crisis in Myanmar. The UN aid workers were blamed for spreading cholera in Haiti after the 2010 earthquake. Allegations of sexual misconduct and rape were leveled against the UN peacekeepers in the Republic of Congo, Cambodia, Haiti, and other countries. Number of ongoing crises are indicative of UN inaction and paralysis, including Russia's takeover of part of Ukraine, China occupying the disputed territories in the South China Sea, the Iraq war, and the other wars stated above. A few challenges facing the UN include a burgeoning bureaucracy, crippling unilateralism, the non-representative Security Council with abuse of veto power for permanent members. The UN has failed across the line in various instances for preventing wars and many other allegations. Therefore, we suggest that the UN must be disbanded and must completely stop all the future actions. The UN is not serving its purpose of preventing wars, nor is it helping the war-ridden countries in any of the form. Thank you.
The opposition may start off with their opening speech now.
Thank you to the moderator. Good evening to one and all present here. Today, the opposition team is going to walk you through the heart and the brain of the world, the United Nations. When the World War II broke out, ruthlessly, Indian soldiers under the Crown's name were forced out of the country, buckled up in ships and sent to wars. Just like India, many countries and their people have been forced to lose something in the war, when to begin with, it was not their war to fight for. Just like India, all countries won and lost something, but they all came to one consensus. After the world wars, it was time for all of us to come and join for a resolution of peace. This resolution is what we call the United Nations today. Let me read out a few lines from the United Nations Charter for all of us present here. We, the people of United Nations, are determined to save the succeeding generations from the scourge of war. Twice in a lifetime has brought untold sorrow to the mankind and to reaffirm the faith in fundamental human rights, dignity, and equal rights. In 1945, 51 developing, underdeveloped, and newly formed countries took an oath to abide the United Nations Charter and tried to undertake war only as the last resort. Let me repeat, war only as the last resort. In the contemporary world, when UN is still trying to bring people at power from the war which happened 75 years ago, we hear diplomats talking about UN as a failing body. But we often forget the idea that the concept of UN has not failed us, but international cooperations among the delegate is what has failed the UN. Because where states fail to agree, even the mighty cooperation of United Nations is powerless to act. Thus, this House believes that UN should not be disbanded. Thank you.
Now let's start with the refutation round. I hope the rules of the refutation round is clear. Yeah, give me a thumbs up. Yeah. So the opposition will go first. The time starts now.
Spencer, you can start with the question.
My question to the proposition is, when we talk about disbanding the UN has a lot of branch organs. To name a few, they are UNICEF, UNEP, Nobel Prize, etc. So when you say that disbanding the UN, do you mean even disbanding these organs? which are actually very useful to millions of people around the globe?
The problem with that is that the human rights movement in speciality has the problem of being a bit hypocritical, because China and Russia have all violated human rights. Yet how do we include them in the UN as specifically as full members of the UN Security Council?
Also, adding to what Sarang said, the stress relief forces sent there, as also referred as the blue helmets, have been violating the human rights from all the human rights you can name. Basically, in the regions where the stress relief, the blue helmets were sent, the people fear the cars used, because the soldiers or the blue helmets rape the people in that. Then there have been names given to the kids born from this rapes, as like the blue helmets are white and the people usually referred to here being the victims here are black. So the children are basically easily distinguishable and there are names given to them. Also, about talking about the stress relief, the other organizations you are talking about, they have failed, because the children's born from when the stress forces are sent there, the relief forces are sent there, and their rapes happen, and the children's born. In an interview, the woman stated she cries every night when her child asks for food or water, because they have done literally nothing there.
Can I ask the moderator to comment on the remarks made by the proposition team? If I may comment on the remarks, or should we answer the question? Jyotika?
Answer the question.
Okay.
Okay, so to ask you, as Tanmay has already listed so many examples of conflicts, where has the UN, succeeded? So it has not succeeded in solving the Rwandan crisis. It has not succeeded in solving the Palestine crisis. So how does the UN still function as a authority when they have no authority to speak of?
Thank you to the proposition for the question. It is indeed a very interesting question. And Spencer, can I answer this one? Yeah. So when we talk about the UN peacekeepers, like that are the symbols of the UN in these places where they go. Firstly, the role of UN peacekeepers is split, changing from intrastate to interstate. Like earlier, they were sent to the within the nations to solve internal conflicts like e-governance, to make better institutions. But now their role is changing to handle civil wars. Even though most of the United Peacekeeping Force is backed up by the international militaries, but still their job remains the same, to end the human crisis. That was the initial reason why the UN peacekeeping was formed. Coming to the organs of UN, we always forget that there is more to UN just other than the General Assembly and the Security Council. The World Food Programme, a major organ of the UN, was the recipient for Nobel Prize 2020, and it has a thriving budget of 5.6 billion, and it feeds more than 10 countries who are in crisis. Coming to the peacekeeping operations, there are 8.7 billion allotted to the UN peacekeeping, and they are involved in African countries. These peacekeeping forces are not only responsible for maintaining harmony within the community, but their role keeps changing to resolve problems which are between the countries. When we come to talk about allegations made against the peacekeeping forces, I would like to reply that most of the peacekeepers that that work are mostly from Bangladesh and India. These countries have been repressed for years, and I don't see a reason why these people who have been under the repression would go into other least developed countries and oppress the people there. So that is how I would like to end my stance. Thank you for the question. So my question for the proposition team is, when we try to compare UN, it is just like the Lok Sabha in India, the Congress in the United States. When we see these forums, some obviously have an upper hand. Some are majority, some are minority. If we disband a government, it leads to anarchy. For example, Nepal. For the majority of the 2000s, Nepal had no government. Syria. So if you tell me, if we disband the UN, how will not the world become an anarchy? How will not the superpowers be more powerful? I agree that superpowers are misusing their veto power. But without UN, what is going to stop them if there is no UN? How will you control the anarchy in the world?
To respond to that, the anarchy is already spreading. As we can see in the Russian and Ukraine conflict, a major member has already invaded Ukraine and they have already started to veto their power. So my question to you is, if there is anarchy, then what's stopping the current UN nation to stop it? Then, sorry, to rephrase my point, then what's changing the current situation of UN? You say that there are peacekeeping options, but UN has also failed in the peacekeeping options. For example, in during the Bosnian War, Dutch peacekeeping forces stationed in the town of Srebrenica declared a safe area by the UN in 1993, failed in 1995 to stop the massacre. And there is your problem with peacekeeping. The UN has also failed in the peacekeeping
Please
options.
stick to your motion. I think there's a confusion here.
This request is for both the teams, by the way. Like, please stick to the motion, which is, we don't need to elaborate on that.
Yeah, when we come to United Nations not doing anything when it comes to conflict, let me coin an example for the question you asked. China has been trying to assert its power in the southern China Sea, as we all know, and it is trying to take over the Senkaku Islands in Japan, which is an archipelago. But what is stopping China is the UNCLOS, United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea. It is stopping China to access all the exclusive economic zones in the range of China and Korea. When we come to the question that is UN doing anything to stop the assertion? Yes, UNCLOS has been the primest example of why China is, even though a very radical power, it is not doing anything to the countries around it because the law made by the United Nations is stopping it. And UNCLOS not only covers the sea area, it also covers the minerals under the sea and the entire space column. So it instantly rejects any war which includes spacefarer.
I would like to ask a question to the proposition. Since you stated that the world is already into an anarchy, I'd like to ask, how are you going to differentiate an anarchy and a World War III? And once the UN is disbanded, if a World War III occurs, who is going to be responsible?
Any which, hello, I'm audible.
Okay, go ahead, Tanmay.
Yeah, Tanmay, you're audible.
Any which ways, if the World War III happens or not happens, the UN doesn't take any stance over it anyhow. Because the UN interferes, China uses its veto. Russia is invading Ukraine, Russia uses its veto. The UN is basically puppet of the 5 countries we all know who has the veto. They are like the puppets. It's UN is basically, like I stated, a front for them to bully. Russia wants a part of Ukraine, just grabs it away. China wants to claim the minerals in the South China Sea, takes it away. And what all these countries have in common is that they are those kids of the classroom who misbehaves, tells the teacher, "I'm sorry, I won't repeat it again," and then does the same thing again. Sorry, I won't do. Does the same thing
Okay,
again.
Tanmay, I have a question for the proposition. When we come to the United Nations, I think we are in the consensus that veto power in the UNSC acts as the main problem. So my question is, instead of disbanding the United Nations, why don't we amend the United Nations Charter and remove the veto power? How exactly will it be beneficial rather than disbanding the United Nations and then creating an international forum all over again? And just to let you know, United Nations took 20 years to gain consensus from all the countries which are the current members. So what do you think will be more beneficial, disbanding the United Nations or just removing the veto power altogether?
I say disbanding, because the veto power is in a catch-all situation where you cannot veto the veto power. As I already said, there are 5 countries. One will always oppose. We don't know which one, but one will always oppose. So there is also the problem. I say create a new UN if you want to model it like that. But please change the current status of the UN, because disbanding is better than trying to change UN with very hard changes, with very difficult changes for the member countries to swallow.
Also adding to what
before-
Sarang said, let me, Spencer. Also adding to what Sarang said, World War I happened, League of Nations happened. World War II happened, United Nations happened. Now we are on the brink of World War III. The only thing, when you put more sugar in your coffee, the only thing is just to throw away the coffee, not add more coffee, add more sugar and try to balance it. You have to just completely
Tanmay?
discard the idea. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I complete
Yeah.
my point?
Yeah.
Yeah. The main idea is to basically discard the whole idea and come up with new organization, with new thinking, and which is more relevant to the modern time.
Okay, I would just like to add the last point here. Firstly, fall of League of Nations was not because of World War One. It was because majority powers in the world were not a part of it. That time, US was following its non-intervention policy. US was not in conversation with any of the country right before the World War One. It was trying to get over its own internal conflict. So I would like to say, if there is no organization without powerful countries, okay, I agree, veto power is the main problem. But if there is no country without the major powers playing a role, what will happen? Because let me remind you, when India was emerging out of colonialism, all the food grains we got were from USA, which is a mega power today. Where veto power countries are today is because we have let them go there, because they have equally helped us to become what we are becoming today. All the food grains, wheat, rice we got were from United States. All the missile power we are having are majorly from Europe. So why veto stands where it is today is because it has helped the developing and the least developed countries come up to where they are today. This is, I would like to end my stance now. Over to the moderator. Thank you.
Okay, that was the end of the refutation round. We'll begin with the closing speeches. The opposition must go first.
Sushri has written, you can continue. Can I?
Sushri?
Continue the debate or with the conclusion, Sushri?
Judges, we can continue, right?
If we don't have any time constraint, then let's have one question from each team. That kind of a scenario.
Okay. So can I ask now? To answer that, veto was given by us. But that time we were thinking like they were good nations who will support us later. But China is claiming parts of India. Arunachal Pradesh is mine. Kashmir is mine. China, when we raise the issues in the UN, China just vetoes the power. We ask for veto, China vetoes that also out of the question. So my question is, United Nations is just an organization who doesn't interfere when the war happens, then goes to the losing country, asks for donations to help the losing country, and just makes the business happen. So what is UN doing at the start of the war and just coming at the end of the war to help the countries ask for donations and keep their business running?
Spencer, would you like to answer this question?
I'll give an answer to your question. So you asked like the veto power. I totally agree with you that some of the major countries actually misuse the veto power. But that doesn't mean that you disband a complete organization just because some, like I would like to take your example itself. As some kids are bullying in class, you do not throw the entire class away, do you? You make some changes, new rules are added so that these kids do not bully anymore. Thus, my proposition is instead of disbanding, some changes can be implemented. These changes could be helpful to both developed world, and could even strengthen the relations between countries such as China and India, countries such as USA and Russia. These countries do not have good relationships. That's why you see that in NATO, that whenever USA raises a point, Russia is always going to deny it. When India raises a point, China is always going to deny it. It is just matter of relationships and how they are being upholded.
So that was my answer for the question for the veto. My actual question was, where is UN at the start of the war, and what does it only enters when the war has happened and everything has happened? just to help the poor, ask for donations and raise billions of dollars or rupees of currency, as Kritika stated.
So
Yeah, as
I'd
you
just like to
stated-
quote,
Yeah,
Kritika, I'd just
Spencer.
like to quote one of the secretaries, the second secretary to be precise, Mr. Dag Hammarskjöld. The UN was not created to make mankind to heaven, but to save humanity from hell. And UN was actually created to not fight war if necessary. In fact, it was an order to defend peace wherever UN organizations designed to avoid war and maintain peace.
Yeah, I would like to back up Spencer by firstly asking you, when these wars happen, okay, not talking about the international war, but within the countries when there is ethnic cleansing or genocide happening, is it because of the international countries involved in it, or is it a within country conflict? Most of the times, the number of within country conflicts is increasing. And when these countries are not ready to cooperate with the
Kritika,
United Nations.
Please conclude your point now.
Yeah, okay. So when these countries are not ready to cooperate with the United Nations, the most United Nations can do is put a sanction. Don't you agree that at the end it comes to the countries also cooperating with the United Nations? Do you just clap with one hand, or is it a two-way thing? The countries are supposed to coordinate with UN and UN is supposed to help them out. This is how the entire concept of the United Nations works.
To add on your point, Kritika,
No,
in the
no.
US-Iraqi
You have to
invasion.
conclude now. You can't add on.
Okay, fine.
We'll start with the closing speech. The opposition team must give their closing speech now.
A lot of important points were discussed. Need of the UN, the consequences of its disbandment, such as world anarchy, the problems that UN has created for itself. It has a lot of advantages and disadvantages, and one could easily say that UN has become a little clunky. But in the end, we could say that UN was not created to take mankind to heaven, but to save humanity from hell. Thank you.
The proposition now.
Okay, so a lot of answers and questions were asked. And so I would like to say that we still believe that UN should be disbanded and that a new nation should be found in front of it. And that there were good points of discussed that veto power should be discussed, and the veto power should be like taken away from the member nations, and that more countries should be added. But still, the main problem we already discussed is that the big countries are not willing to give the veto power. So I would like to say that UN should be disbanded, and that it has not helped nations escape from the scourge of war. Thank you.
The judges can give their feedback now.
Mhm. Okay, so I have one question. First is Team A, you said the point that there is already anarchy, and what is the need for UN? For UN right now, if there is already anarchy, there's nothing they can do about it. Am I right?
Yes.
So why do you think that statement makes sense? Because if there is anarchy, that doesn't mean you let it continue. If someone's continuously creating violence, crime, so on. Don't you think we need a more stronger body than the UN?
Yes, that was we were discussing that a new UN, new body should be created with more privileges and more power, so that UN's job can be done very well.
Okay, so this brings me to my point. You want a new body altogether, disbanded, completely created from scratch, correct?
Yes.
Now, when you do something like that, do you know what kind of resources you'll be needing to create an entirely new organization from scratch, irrespective of which countries are already participating in the current UN?
Yes. So my point is that it is a very long-term solution which will benefit the humanity more rather than going on with the current UN model.
So why can't we just modify the current UN model?
Main problem is the member nations. So the 5 member nations are not willing to let G4 nations such as India, Japan, South Korea, and Brazil And there is already a movement like the coffee cup movement in the 90s, which was created just to oppose the G4 nations. So UN is already being like exploited by both of these, like the bottom feeders and like the upper levels. So I would like to say that creating a new organization would be better than persisting with UN.
What stops, one second, what will stop the current member nations from letting the G4 nations to join the new UN or your new supposed new UN, what you want to create? Why will they want to create a new UN altogether? They already have the power, all the power they require right now in UN, the current UN. Why would they want an entirely new organization? How are they going to profit from all of this? They've already invested armed forces. They've already invested their donations. I believe right now even US is planning on retrieving from the donate because they've given way too much contribution to the UN than any other country. So
Yes.
why would they want to give away all of their investments and start from scratch, giving the people an equal opportunity? That's not the way the world works, right?
Understand that, but we have to look at a better solution, because the current solution right now does not give much more representation to the Asian countries, and much more representation to like the bottom nations like Bangladesh and all. Not a bottom nation, but still going through economic development. But that's my main point. There is not much representation in the UN. So I would like to create a new body so that we can have more representation in the UN, because the current member nations are not allowing that to happen.
Also, the powers have been exploited for way too long. The UN has been functional for more than upwards of 75 years, and there has been no significant results produced by the UN. Also, our proposition is to disband US because when the limit is exceeded of mishappenings, you just need a revolution. And I agree, revolutions are bloody. There are various problems faced.
Okay,
But
wait. I'll just stop you right there. This has nothing to do with what I'm looking for from the auction, but in the interest of time, let's leave it at that. I got what I wanted.
Understood.
Abhishek, do you have anything that you want to ask?
Yes. I do have a couple points for feedback, and I also have a question. So, this debate started very well. Tanmay started by explaining the origins of UN, some background about League of Nations. So that was a good way to start the debate. And then, Kritika, her opening statement was absolutely spot on perfect, because she literally took efforts to, actually find out why the motion was called what it was given. And she could she exactly found out that this was inside the UN Charter, and she plugged it out literally from there. So hats off, Kritika. That was an absolutely amazing thing, that you were able to point it out and do it. But then, after your opening statements, I found that, the debate started to, fall off. Both of you took around 8 to 10 minutes just to, come to the main focus of the debate. And then, we had to give you extended time. So if we didn't give you extended time, I think, both of you would get 0-0 in refutation. But we had to extend the time and we gave you time. And I found both of your closing statements very weak. I'll be honest, I found it very weak and not convincing. So the thing is now, I'll tell you where I am. I am not convinced by either of your sides. So this is a question for both teams. You all can take a minute and only one person from each team will answer this. Take a minute to think. Answer me in one sentence why I should consider your motion. Answer me in one sentence, not two, only one sentence. Take a minute to think. It's okay. Only one person will answer from each side.
Can I go?
Tanmay, you're not audible.
Can I go?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so UN is just running a business and it isn't preventing wars, just coming at the end of the wars to feed his business and keep its life going on, keep itself alive.
Okay, just one sentence. So yeah, you're done.
So may I?
Of course, Kritika.
So our teams motion is a very practical approach. It is a more substantial approach, and it is not pulling the group away, while it is taking the group together forward and trying to find a better solution together instead of putting each one country down and trying to lift the other countries up. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Sushri, just give me a moment. Elton and I will grade them and let you know.
Yeah, I also do have feedback. So the reason why I asked the question was I didn't want to know your answer. I just wanted to know whether you all will bring me back into the track of the motion, which you all failed to do. The motion is about war, and like the context or the concept is supposed to be UN and war, not UN in general. You have to bring relevant points as to how UN is supposed to stop or start or prevent war. So y'all are just going with the flow of the argument. Y'all are just going in your own thoughts. You're not thinking about the motion. Every statement has to begin with the motion. You're just going with your emotions instead. Also, closing statements. Okay, there is a misconception of what a closing statement is. It's not supposed to be anything prepared previously. Okay, a closing statement is supposed to be a kind of a summary of all the refutation that has been done so far. You're supposed to be bringing up points, reminding the audience, reminding everyone that this is what we discussed and this is why we are right. You're not supposed to be creating like a predefined speech which you will refer to irrespective of what the outcome of what was discussed in the refutation. That's it from my feedback.
Okay, so since we have concluded with the first round, I would just like everyone to just take a short breather before we dive into our next and maybe come up and say how they feel about it. So could we have anyone from Team K and Team A come out and say something?
Yeah, right off the bat, I would like to thank Sarang and Tanmay. This debate was really wonderful, and I really, really enjoyed having this opportunity. They were amazing. So yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you,
were
guys.
amazing too, Kritika. Like yesterday, I saw your like UNSC debate, and I was very scared.
Yeah, even I was watching, trying to find YouTube videos of all the contenders present here. I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out, okay, what I should say next, what I should do. Spencer also was trying to gather so much information. Yeah.
It is difficult in like 2 hours to like condense all the information.
When the topic came, Spencer was also really worried what to do. He like due to current affairs and all, he was a little bit worried. But yeah, thank you guys. It was a really good round.
Thanks,
It's
Kritika.
commendable.
Very
The amount of research that you'll have put in, like, irrespective of how it went, it was like great. It was thoroughly enjoyable for me, and retaliating a few certain things. Amazing.
Yeah, man.
I would like to thank the team also, the managing team, for getting
Yeah.
such interesting topics.
I would
because-
have never thought that this topic would come in the debate. Like, I'm being very honest. Yesterday, I thought, okay, something related to technology, something related to international forums, but I would have never thought that altogether we would be talking about disbanding UN. So, like, phenomenal topic, guys. Equally scary, equally nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Intimidating as well. And I really tell you, you need to thank Angelica and Sushri for that. They sat
And our
beside
judges.
the topic. Yes,
no.
even our judges. So whenever we got worried or confused, we always had to run it past them, and they were always there helping us, guiding us. It was
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you guys. It was equally fun for us to research on the topic because there were so many things I didn't know about when I was going through. Like in the 2 hours, there were like 20 tabs open in my Chrome, and I was trying to figure it out. So yeah, thank you guys. Good work.
Win or lose, either way, you take back a lot from a debate, come what may.
Yeah,
And it
very
stays
true.
with you for a while.
Yeah, very true. When the college reopens, the first thing I'm going to talk to Spencer is about debate only. Or either of you guys, whenever I see you all, it's going to be all about the debate only. And this topic was really nice. This topic was really difficult.
I mean, you're just talking like till college starts. It's been a year for me, and I still talk about my debate. But this time the topics are much more difficult, and the way y'all have managed it is like.
Guess we'll be meeting soon.
I know, but still, I think there's nothing official out there, so I'm not assuming. Sarah, you want to say something?
I was just saying, I'm closing the camera.
Okay, fine. What
Signing
about
out,
Tanmay?
like-
You've been participating.
Your mic is muted.
All right, till then, the next groups get ready. We'll be starting soon.
Sushri, when will like the rounds results be announced?
After this debate is over. Together.
Understood. Thanks.
Jyotika, we can begin with the next resolution.
Okay, now we have Team H and Team P with us. In Team H, we have Rachel Manjali and Usma Kapadia. In Team P, we have Binil Varghese and Rahul Rathod. Are your videos on? Can't see Binil.
He's pinned to the screen.
Rahul, please turn your camera on.
Is Rahul there?
Yes.
So the topic is the current NFT boom is a fad and will end like the ICO boom of 2017. I repeat, the current NFT boom is a fad and will end like the ICO boom of 2017. Team H speaks in proposition and Team P speaks in opposition. Now let's start with the opening speeches. The proposition goes first.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay. Good evening to everyone present here. Our topic for today's debate is the current NFT boom is a fad and will end like the ICO boom of 2017. So to give you an overview of what exactly an NFT is, an NFT stands for non-fungible token. This is a token that is given to photographs, videos, or music content, which can be bought and sold via the technology called blockchain. Now, what exactly is blockchain is? Blockchain is giving you an idea of what exactly this content is,
and how many of these actually exist, how many copies the artist has currently made, how many are present in the internet. The second topic that I want to discuss about is the ICOs, the initial coin offering. This stands for, supposing you have a company, your company wants to start a new project but has no funding. For that project to be funded, it will release something that's called as tokens, and these tokens will be available to the common man, where the common man who can buy these tokens via Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency methods. So they're not using real money, they're using the cryptocurrency money, and they are buying these tokens in the hope that this project will have a proper flow and will gain more profit. And when we gain that profit, we can benefit from it by having those many Bitcoins or crypto coins. The other topics that we need to discuss in this debate are the environmental issues that are caused due to the NFTs, the evaluation, what exactly is the market risk. There are huge market risks when it comes to NFTs because it's a technology common man doesn't know and is delving into, because it's a fad and a current boom that the celebrities have proposed. Thank you.
The opposition may give their opening speech now.
Okay, so good evening to everyone. I speak in favor of NFTs, and I would like to say that NFTs are not a fad. I would like to present my ideology as people often assume NFTs are similar to Pokemon cards. If you see Pokemon cards, they're a trading card, but due to the age of the cards, you know how long it has been going on, and the rarities of a few cards, you pick any two cards. One card can be a Holo Charizard, which has 1,000 rupees value, and one card can be a trainer card, which can have no value. In a similar way, people think that NFTs are just specific pieces of art that have specific value. But in reality, NFTs are not like that. They are like a pack of playing cards. Playing cards are versatile. You can do what you want with them. You can play card games by yourself, with others. You can perform mediocre magic tricks. You can also build card towers. Unlike Pokemon cards, you can buy playing cards which have different designs. These designs can be akin to buying skins for weapons in a game. But in case of a playing card, the company cannot show up at your doorstep and tell you, stop using these playing cards, our company has shut down. In comparison, if tomorrow BGMI, say as an example, closes down, all the kids who bought the Royal Pass and some special weapon skins would be crying because they wasted money on some skins. So just like that, we can say that NFTs are the new proof of concept for smart contracts. They're proof of ownership, and it's the next big thing after the internet and social media. And because NFTs are riding on crypto, it is based on crypto. Unlike when ICO released, the crypto market already exists. So I believe it is not a bubble or a boom market because the crypto market already exists now. Thank you.
All right. So before the refutation, just keep one thing in mind, that we are following the QAC format, which is one team asks a question, the other team answers, the team passes, like the one who asks the question passes a comment on their answer, and then we move on. So please keep your questions and answers concise and to the point. Okay, Jyotika.
The opposition can raise a question now.
Yes. So the question I would like to raise is, as Rachel pointed out, that there are some environmental impacts because of NFTs, and there is a lack of knowledge about NFTs and the technology in general. So the question would be, do the people generally need knowledge about what are they investing their assets into? Like, we don't know much about oil, but we still do invest in it. And what might be the environmental impacts that are NFT posing?
Okay, yeah. So what did you ask was NFT? Yes, people do need knowledge of NFTs because as we know the share market and stocks, people have a lot of data to research on and we can get a clear idea about what, exactly it is processing and all. But NFTs are a totally new technology or strategy, whatever you all can say. People have no idea. So there is a high risk of, market risks are there. And for me, NFTs are just anything that can be packaged and sold as an NFT. An image, an MP3 file, a meme, a tweet, a video clip, as in if they were buying a painting or a sculpture in traditional sense, instead they just have a code. They just have a code on blockchain that represents ownership and authenticity of the work, but not the work itself. Correct.
I would also like to add, you asked about the environmental issues. So yes, it is actually quite a lot. One Bitcoin transaction actually uses more electricity than 1 million Visa transactions. So that's the amount of electricity that you're using when you're making one Bitcoin transaction. And when you're using NFT, everything needs to be done in crypto. You're not using actual money. You're spending money, you're investing it in crypto, and that money is used for the NFTs. So if you are to maintain such type of NFTs, and you're supposed to localize this, and all the governments supposing, even if they legalize this, the amount of carbon emissions that come out from this are very hazardous. It's something to actually think of, and something that I don't see an alternative to, because we are living with limited resources and we cannot exhaust them in something that can drain us more than what we can actually profit as human beings. Okay.
So yes, as Rachel said,
listen, everyone needs to get to the point. We are not discussing the environmental impact of NFTs. Please keep that in mind.
No, actually, Binal just asked that what environmental issues NFTs are affecting. So it's just that it emits a lot of carbon compounds which are hazardous. So yes, my question for the other team will be, why do you all feel that NFTs will continue to be a boom in the following years ahead?
Okay, so that's a really good question.
Before we move ahead, 1 second. I believe first Team P is supposed to give a comment on your response, right?
Yeah,
Team
okay.
P is supposed to give a comment on your response of Team H. Then we move on to your question.
Yeah, so as Rachel said, there is environmental impact, but there is just an option of cryptocurrency while trading in NFTs, but we also have the option of conventional payment methods. Cryptocurrency is not necessary for NFTs or trading NFTs. And the next thing would be the knowledge about the stocks, like other industries. The knowledge about NFT is it's a new technology, and if people like to invest in it, they are free to do so. Not many people who invest in stocks know about this deep markets and how they work and what are the changes that would incur in the next days, but they still do invest in it.
Okay, so now my question to the moderator. Do I directly answer my opposition's question?
Now you have to ask the question. It's your
No,
time.
no. Team H has to ask the question. Team H has already asked the question, so now
Yeah,
you can
so
answer.
I can directly answer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Uzma. That was a great question. The popular belief nowadays is that NFTs are only used for digital art and digital music and such. But in reality, right now, I can tell you there are multiple uses for NFTs in the future that are being worked on as we speak of. NFTs can be used to ensure authenticity of specific products. NFTs are being used in the metaverse for real estate. NFTs can also be used for medical identification and records. Each person can have their own records securely stored as NFTs. NFTs can also be used for intellectual property and patents. That will also be confidential. Then NFTs, unfortunately, can also be used for academic credentials to mark your attendance and other such things. NFTs can then also be used for the supply chain, for ticketing, and also one of the biggest things that are going on right now, NFTs are being used in the gaming industry. And a good example of that would be Call of Duty creating specific items as NFTs and bonus would be the metaverse. So with so many applications, I don't see NFT being a fad. I see it being the next big thing.
Okay, so to comment on your thing, you stated something about what exactly are you possessing when you buy these NFTs. NFTs are basically images, videos. It can be anything. Like you gave them many examples. So I just want to enlighten everyone about this one thing about the latest NFT media that mania that was Bored Apes. So something like this, they have a image of 10,000 apes which have certain an NFT token, and you have to buy these apes to actually claim the authenticity of this. So ape number 9055 was bought by Eminem because it represents him, and he brought that. He spent almost $45,000 for
Rachel,
this.
please conclude your point. Conclude your comment, I mean.
He spent almost this much money for this, and he actually got only a digitized version which anyone can actually own. He just has the ownership of this, and he has a digitized version of it. That's all.
Yeah, it's just that the NFTs are hyped by the celebrities, in short.
You all are not discussing about the facts. Please stick to your topic. The team H has to raise a question now.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think it's team P. To
Yeah,
raise
I
the
think we
question.
were supposed to ask the question right now.
I commented on
since
his.
Team
Yeah.
H just commented, Team P asked a question.
Yeah, so my question would be that people with a lot of money often do a lot of wacky things just because they have that money for the sake of reputation. So, how is celebrities buying branded goods and other different things any different from celebrities spending money on NFTs?
Okay, to answer to that question, when you are a celebrity, you have some sort of status and stature. You will give that kind of knowledge to your followers or your people. People might not exactly know what NFT is, and the main idea is the crypto world is not yet explored that much, and there are a lot of scams and hacks happening because it's very easy to scam and hack people via NFTs. And the same thing happened for the ICOs, the initial coin offerings. A lot of scams were happening. That's exactly why it was dying. Since 2021, you have continuous scams that are happening to people who are unaware of NFTs, and it is still continuing. There is no downfall to the scams that are happening. So that is to answer to why the celebrities are and why exactly it's harming common people.
To raise the concern, while you said there are a lot of scams going on, but virtually on the ground there are none because it all backed up by the blockchain technology. And one of the features of the blockchain technology, it is very flawless. And what blockchain allows you to do is make a transaction that's totally encrypted. So the chances of there being a scam or a fraud are very, very less than in case of like say physical paintings, where you can forge the painting and easily forge the painting and sell it to anybody who doesn't have the access to a professional paint enthusiast or anything.
Yeah, so I would also like to add a small comment to that. That when ICO came out, there were hundreds and thousands of ICOs, out of which right now practically a very like a quarter of those only exist successfully with profit. The point being that 98% of NFTs are going to die out because in today's day and age anyone can make an NFT, but that doesn't mean NFTs as a whole is going to go away. The most successful ones will carry on and take it forward.
Okay, you just said that 98% of NFTs are going to die out, which just proves my point that it's just a fad and it is going to
And
end
it's just 2% left. So
it is most probable to not succeed at all.
Yeah. And on the ground.
And coming to my one question that I want to ask is, how would you generalize the value of an NFT? How do you say that this particular painting is so and so, like the value of this NFT is more versus me making a painting and I'm claiming that this value is so and so? Why does that painting get more value, this painting? How exactly are you generalizing the whole concept of NFT?
Yeah, so the answer to that would be that people are just thinking of NFTs in simple terms. NFT is not just the painting. The NFT is the contract that comes with the painting. The artwork is secondary. The metadata of the NFT is what is the primary reason that is being sold. So what comes with the NFT is what creates its value. And as for what I said previously, a similar thing can be said for Bitcoin. Bitcoin and Ethereum are the top 2% that survived the ICO boom.
But eventually ICO boom came to an end.
But Bitcoin still stands.
Okay, one comment that I want to make about your question is, you just said NFT is not very easy. It's quite complex. You have you have a lot of layers to go through. That's exactly what we were trying to say. Since it's such a difficult topic to understand, it can be that the scammers can hack general citizens who don't know much about the topic at all. And that can be that can continue for a long period of time, which it is.
Now we are moving on to the closing speech. The opposition team may give their speech, closing speech now.
So, as we all saw, all the views that we heard today, we can safely conclude that NFTs are not a fad or even a high risk investment for that. Being relatively a new industry, that people who are engaging in this industry find that they are pretty profitable and at the same time providing a valuable and profitable asset to their esteemed collectors or may even it be regular customers for a fact. The technology and methodology backing this new trend is comparatively safe and ensures the authenticity and the uniqueness of the art. It provides a broader opportunity to those artists who otherwise have been still under the dark, the likes of such as graphic designers or digital content creators and etc. So we can safely say that with concrete confidence that NFTs are here to stay. It's not a fad, and in a long time provide more opportunities and profitability to the people engaged in it. Thank you.
The proposition may give their closing speech now.
Okay, I would just start my conclusion with saying that the opponent team already agreed to the point that 90 to 98% of NFTs are falling down. So I think it will take not much time for that 2% also to fall, and NFTs will burst, obviously. So I'd like to mention the market risk point that in digital art is booming, no doubt, but that doesn't mean this is a safe investment. Investing in NFTs comes with own unique set of risks, right? So their future is uncertain and we don't yet have a lot of history to judge their performance. Though investing in art is often a particular act, there is a risk of losing its value. The NFT market suffers from massive volatility because there aren't any mechanisms in place yet to help people price digital assets. Another point I would like to raise that the valuation of NFTs depends on authenticity, creativity, and the perception of the owners and buyers. NFT's value is based largely on what someone else is willing to pay for it. Therefore, it leads to fluctuation. Someone who buys an NFT only gets the right to use the NFT rather than intellectual property rights. Intellectual property rights, I'm referring it as copyrights, trademarks, patent, moral rights, and all. The growing NFT market is also attracting cyber criminals, resulting in various risks of fraud, cybersecurity, and hacks. There are a lot of instances of fake websites. Some artists also fallen victim of hackers who have sold their work without their permission. And those who own an NFT do not necessarily own the original version of the digital content. I would just like to say the NFT bubble has burst already. We are seeing investors moving back to traditional crypto token investing. That's all I would like to conclude.
Now I'll ask the judges to give their feedback.
Abhishek, would you like to go first?
Elton, you go first. I have a few things I'm noting down, so I'll get back.
So there, the topic was more about the fads part of it, whereas you all never really touched on what are fads. It's like you all could have discussed much more on the concept of how it will die out sooner, how many things die out, and how many new technologies or many new concepts that we bring up, they just stop existing after we give up on them. It was not really that much touched upon it as much as it should have been. There were more conversations about why it is good for society, how it is bad for the environment, and so on. There was no such discussion. There was very little discussion as to why people will forget about. That was the more important point. People will forget about. We will or will not forget about it was supposed to be the discussion. So that is my feedback. So like for me, honestly, the refutation round was a bit lukewarm. The conclusions were better. I guess, for Uzma, I guess you made a few new points which the opposition team did not point out in your conclusion. But I mean that they should have. Other than that, I guess it was good, decent. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Elton. So I'll start with the feedback first. Your opening statements. So Rachel had a very logical opening segment. It followed some points. Then suddenly towards the end, it mentions about environmental issue just in one sentence, and then she moves on to talk about the financial implications and valuations about it. So I think it was going in a flow up to that point, but suddenly, when you bring up environmental issues, something that's not inside the topic, so it tends to go a bit away from the idea. So yeah, that was in her statement. Then in Rahul's statement, he said there was no crypto market during the IPO boom. Rahul, are you sure about that?
No, I meant to say that the crypto market was new, as in it was just a new thing right then. Right now, the crypto market is kind of stabilized. That's why NFTs can carry on with that.
Yeah, but you said that, right? You said no crypto market during the IPO boom. Because what I do is when you all are talking, I actually write down your points, whatever you speak.
Okay.
So, okay. So, I felt that, it could have been much better because, we should have probably stuck with, so what I was originally looking for was that, we talk a bit about the IPO boom, what was an IPO, and I found those things missing, because that was sort of the base, the topic was split into two parts, the NFT boom, which is happening right now, and you link it up with the IPO boom of 2017. So I thought it was a bit missing there. I have a couple questions, Again, my questions will be to both teams. You all can take turns and answer. So, if any of you know the answer, just answer, let's say that we don't know and we move on. So do any of you know the most successful ICO of all time?
BNB.
I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough. That's a very legitimate, correct thing to say that you do not have idea. Correct. Okay. The biggest ICO scam?
No idea.
Okay. So see,
No idea.
that was literally your topic. It was literally your topic. Okay. Most expensive NFT project till now?
91 $91 million.
Which one?
The Beeble one, I guess.
Yeah.
In the
People are
Christie's
telling.
Yeah, Beeble one, the everydays, the 5,000. I couldn't remember the whole thing. Sorry. It's everydays, the 5,000. I couldn't complete it. Sorry.
Okay. Fair enough. Correct. Okay. Pretty close. Okay. Anyone knows what is ERC 20 and ERC 721? Okay. I think, NFTs are actually ERC 721 technically. Okay, so see, the only thing, I don't want to put any of you down. I'm just giving you feedback so that, in whichever future debates you go to, when you go to a national level debate or a debate which has a higher level, these are the things that will, actually make a difference there. All of you are exceptionally brilliant speakers, no doubt about it. But these small things, these small things that will eventually, count there in refutation rounds, someone will point it out and you'll not have enough idea. So just keep this in mind. When you have a topic, research it through. It's completely fair if you miss something, one or small thing here and there, but always try to stick to the main topic and have some research so that, even if you feel that your opponent is, they are bringing their points, which you do not have an idea about. So you have some research of your own to fall back on, and you can always say, what, see this, I have something. Yeah, what do you think about this? So that is what, I felt was missing in refutation. Besides it, okay, good enough. Best of luck to both teams. Sushri, just give me a moment. I'll grade both of them and let you know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that round being completed, we are done with our semifinals. So, how is this team feeling? These four teams, actually.
Like, can I just say something? Even though I was the one who researched the topics, and even though like the judges were constantly helping us, these topics, the debates, the way they're going, I mean, sorry, I cannot like debate the way they are doing, and I'm really glad.
I think the one fear, that I had was because this team had crypto yesterday. So their crypto was so strong. I mean, they probably I can already see Rahul smiling like
I saw Rahul.
It's like
about crypto, and I was like, oh my god, if this topic comes to me and I have Rahul as an opponent, I'm going to be sad.
I almost went to Rahul for help, but then I realized he's my opposition
opponent.
Yeah,
It's like say
never
crypto
mind.
and watch Rahul's face light up.
He was, I mean, both of them, Rahul and Vinil, I knew beforehand that they knew about crypto, and NFT is something that is mostly done on like crypto grounds. You can invest the normal money, but then, I didn't even know about crypto that much. So I had to research on that, then NFTs, then come back to ICO. And so it was like a big khichdi.
Yeah, when today's topic was announced, I can't explain. I was quite a bit relaxed. The fact that I didn't have to thoroughly research something because I had previous knowledge definitely helped out. But yeah, the topic was really good, and it was a good debate as well. It's good to see that with my opposition, they researched it thoroughly enough. Despite not knowing much, they put up a good debate. So yeah, that was a good part.
Okay, wow, he just straight up said it. Okay.
Oh my god. What about Uzma and what about Vinay?
We just got 2 hours, I wasn't even knowing the full form of NFT.
For the finals, you only get 30 minutes. So.
Yeah, I hope you know that.
Thanks, yaar.
What topics before coming, did you look at specific topics which may be asked?
I kind of had a feeling that we would be asked about current affairs, financial, because most of the topics were yesterday, especially, were a lot related to controversy, like the LGBTQ was involved, and so I was like gaining points on grounds like that, where you can't be right, you can't be wrong. It's like that is when you can't be right, you can't be wrong. That's a very good debate because you have plus points for both, and it's quite difficult to convince the moderator and the judges to take your side because both have strong points. Like you can't totally like I'm still obsessed over the topic that was not debated on yesterday about the equal rights to people transgenders who have their
You have no clue. That was one of the topics
We
that
were
like,
looking
very
forward to it
excited
I was
so
looking
much.
forward to
and
that
people backed
I was-
off. So that was a good topic.
Sorry.
It was
I remember.
Sarang was
Sorry, like I was prepared. I was prepared for it. It
I
did not-
still remember when Angelica, myself, so we were discussing the topics. We were like, we should include this. I really want to see a debate on this, and wham, a buy there. I'm like, sure.
There were quite a few buys yesterday. Uzma and I were very disheartened that we were the only ones to get all rounds. Like we had to debate. So yeah, so I think Sarang and team has done like quite a classy job because it was their first debate today in the semi-final.
Yeah,
They have not
actually,
had
I
a debate.
didn't even like look at last year's debate. I just came here.
Still, I think all in all, everyone can agree this debate has really pushed us, beyond our comfort zone to go research, strategize and learn how to retaliate, study your opponents, as I think Kritika said she did, by watching everyone's video yesterday.
I watched everyone's debate, room 1, room 2. I was asking around I asked Angelica for the links. Please send me room 1 ka link. I need to watch their debate video, especially Rohit and Binil's team. I was super scared of this team till today afternoon. I was telling Spencer, what if they are our opponents? What will we do? Because but all the teams were phenomenal. Rahul and Binil's team was especially the topic crypto, and combined with Rahul and Binil in the team, it was really scary to watch, seriously.
I think very soon people might be, consulting Rahul to give us some knowledge on crypto and XI, I guess. Rahul, what say?
I can only advise you.
We
I
can
can't say
arrange a
it will
workshop.
happen. I can't say it will happen.
राहुल क्वेश्चन, आप जो बोलते हो वो आप खुद फॉलो करते हो क्या? क्रिप्टो में आपने इन्वेस्ट किया है?
Yeah, I kept it up for quite a
then it's
while,
good.
and then now it kind of trailed off because now I have other things to use my money for.
Yesterday, when you gave the conclusion for your crypto, you were referring to your personal reference, right? When you gave the conclusion, that
Yeah.
was amazing.
That was literally a jab to Elon Musk for inflating Dogecoin.
Yeah,
Horrible.
I don't know. But seriously, all the tech debate topics and Rohit and Rahul and that team, it's going to be the scariest one out of all the debates that I watched yesterday.
Myself, Angelica, and Sushri, after the debate, we were like, God, I don't know how they kept up. We just had to do back end work and stuff, but the people on the field, whew, amazing.
Even Rachel and Uzma's refugee topic was really nice. Rachel, though I know she's very good in debate and stuff, but I was very surprised when I saw Uzma ke points. They were really good. She knows how to keep her calm during the debate. I just texted Sarang, I think I'm almost going to fight you today.
Yeah.
Difficult to maintain a calm during the argument.
Yeah, that's the true essence of debate. Wise people don't argue, they debate.
And this topic is yesterday I also got something UNSC related, and this topic is my favorite topic. Let's just say I'm really good at international relations.
That's why I was scared. You demolished the other side yesterday. I saw
Yeah,
the
so
UNSC one.
You were brutal.
Politics is something that I enjoy, and a little bit of economics. So when I saw this topic, I was like, I'll go full on. But then I saw Sarang was so calm throughout it, and I was getting more and more agile. This should be this. You need to learn from Sarang how to keep your calm during the event.
I guess.
or composed.
I
I'm not
honestly like Sarang at like when he was debating, there was this one point where he's like,
Like I was like trying to like convey my emotions like this.
Yeah.
Yes, I get you. I get you.
I got worried
would
there
have
for a
been
minute,
much,
like,
much
what
more.
happened? Like, should we just stop and give him a minute? Then it's like,
You know
okay, fine.
what? If we would have done this offline, right, it would have been like so much more rewarding to see.
It
all
would
these
have been
expressions.
amazing.
I think we would have to physically restrain people from, ripping each other apart.
Like I have that habit.
Just
like, when I speak,
news
like,
to everyone. I did not know my parents are watching the live outside.
Yeah, I didn't send them the link only. They wanted to watch it.
It's they are watching it in the main room and they were like, "What was that environment topic? Why did you even get it up? It was not needed." So I've just got feedback from my brother. He's like, just come and told me, please amp your points up next debate if you get through.
No, yesterday after the debate, I showed them the telecast and I only like made sure that they're watching the parts where I'm actually speaking good and not the parts where I messed up. So I just noted down the timestamps and showed them that part of the video.
yeah. Even I didn't expect to get
Yesterday,
this far.
Sarang's partner was like, I would like to thank my parents for supporting me throughout this
Yesterday,
event.
Tanmay also did a great job. Yeah. Like in the opening speech.
I have to say, my man Binil here, despite the fact that we've had barely any conversation, Binil here definitely caught up wherever I was lacking off. Like yesterday in the first debate, I think the opposition asked a question and I was pretty much blank and I was like, what the hell are we going to do now? And Binil comes in clutch and answers the question and I'm like, yeah, we don't need communication, we got this.
Yeah, even telepathic are on the same wavelength. Like we were nervous that what if we start arguing with each other that who's going to answer the question. Then we were
Yes.
like, okay, we will see.
I've become friends with Uzma only with debate. She was my partner last year because I had no partner. This year, again, I had no partner, so Uzma was my partner.
I had to ask the coordinators to find a partner because I wasn't knowing only anyone. And then last moment,
I'm glad you found a partner.
I forced Spencer to come with me, and Spencer, not having much knowledge on the topic, still he collected so many data. Like all the data work was his, like the work, all the heavy numbers that he used, like all the stats and everything, it was all by Spencer. He was just finding on Google and everything.
During those stats, I was like, my God, this is thorough. Like, wow.
Yeah.
He was just citing them like this. I'm like,
You see, I have to sit with a 5-page document. Rahul doesn't have to do anything only. He's just like sitting there thinking.
It's all in my mind already. I don't need this.
Crypto, I'll just answer it. Leave it to me.
But honestly, my idea of research is less of reading and more of watching. I just go find whatever is going on, the videos of it, just set it to 2x speed and listen to the whole thing. That's the fastest way to get through.
Spencer and I also did that. But then if I don't jot down anything now, I'll not be able to remember it. So like I sit with people, you see the last debate also, I'm sitting with the paper still. Jotting down even your debate. I watched your debate. Uska bhi point I was writing. What should we do? What we shouldn't do?
Problem is that remembering statistics is important. Giving wrong information
Yeah.
is like,
If that happens, a fact check.
Like the moment where I said 98% instead of 89% and Uzma caught on and oh god.
It's just that you have to be very confident while saying whatever you are saying so that the opposite team doesn't catch you on that.
Yesterday, I was like, Spencer asked for a fact check on his own, statement. And I'm like, brave.
I am so bad at social and civics. I was so bad in civics. Frankly speaking, I used to just sleep in my civics lecture and yet, come in top 3.
And I couldn't even tell him
anything.
Say
Spencer,
anything.
chup ho ja. You're harming yourself by telling.
Yeah. Stop digging your own grave.
Packet yesterday was like hilarious.
We were discussing about that in the back end. That was very brave of him.
Okay, so I believe the results are out. Can we declare them?
I mean, you're asking, can we declare them as if?
Kar de kya? Like,
I mean,
Okay,
like,
okay, fine,
basically, we are waiting for the
I
results.
was excited. I mean, something.
रिजल्ट
I-
डिक्लेयर कर दिया जाए.
I think judges thoda moral support.
Yes, please.
Please.
Yes.
What do you?
Comforting words from the judges. Is that what you want?
Hoping for the wrong thing.
Are you sure you want to hear what you want to say?
Say something. I don't
Think
know.
again.
Say something nice about
On
everyone.
on one hand,
Just to make us feel better.
on one hand, I would like to hear what the judges have to say, but on the other hand, I practically know how it's going to turn out.
Okay. So, jokes apart, result time. So, from the first debate, which was Team A versus Team K, Team K will be moving forward to the finals. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
And for the second debate, that is Team H versus Team P, Team H will be moving ahead to the finals. Congratulations.
Congratulations, guys. It
Nice
will be your
effort.
first semi-final and now it's your first final as well.
Yes, guys. I hope I have given y'all a good time.
You just wait till you hear the topic. These smiles are gonna be wiped off your faces.
Why?
You special, credits goes to Abhishek and Elton because they were the ones who are like picking up the topic. So if in case you start crying, blame it on them. Okay?
Who?
Now
And
they are
I-
contemplating the moral
I
support.
mean, you can blame me. It's okay. You can blame me.
I
it's okay.
really wish they could have heard yesterday's what we were going to give them.
The call after that, yeah.
You
the
would
call
have
after the
cried.
debate.
Let me assure you.
We
Judges-
were listening to their ideas and we were like, okay, that's
I'm trying
kind
to
of
say
evil.
Is that sad?
Chinmay, the stream can be muted now.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, you will get more time. No, more time not for preparation.
Preparation. So
So
she's like,
that
wait,
is said. That is said.
backtrack. You get like a specific amount of time for preparation.
I mean,
Half
it
an
is
hour.
the finals, right? You need to buck up your game.
Step up. You need to step up.
But frankly speaking, I think this was even a good experience for the judges, something very different.
Judges, would you like to add?
Yes.
Spencer,
The judges have been
Spencer,
debating all day.
I'll tell you something, Spencer. Yesterday, after your debates were over, we had a call. Both Elton and I were there. And Elton was literally on the verge of debating there itself. I could see it. I could feel Elton will now stand on the bench and will shout. It was that close.
Oh, so
Elton
any more
regrets this.
hypothetical stories you want to tell?
I mean, if we like just how Abhishek sir asked us in one line to explain a motion, can you like in one line just give us some spirit or something to cope up with this difficult topic?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. I'll give it to you after the topic so that you have enough time to process that first.
Yeah.
Utika pulled an Uno reverse card.
Actually, I guess that debate would be more fun than our debate between Elton and Abhishek.
I would love to see that.
I
I
want
mean,
to.
we all know who's the winner. So
Oh my god.
I'm not saying it's me. Wait, I'm not saying it's me.
Oh my god.
Are you guys going to post it on the group, the big reveal, or in the
I'll
chat?
post it on the group as well as read it out loud.
Yeah. Okay.
So should we do the reveal now? Or are we going to make
Please.
2002.
10 October 2002.
Yeah.
Short time. I don't really remember dates. But yeah, so you got the context, right? You have to debate like as if you are in that parliament and that particular time, and if possible, with like pretend to be Americans. I mean, Indian
Without the
Americans.
accent. Without the
Yeah,
accent.
without the
please.
accent.
I mean, I can try to mimic a very
can try
orange
that.
accent, but I can't do anything more.
You can be
than
rednecks for, one debate. It's not a big deal. Oh God, this is such a bad topic.
You know
yaar.
what? You know what? We'll give bonus points if you actually speak an American accent.
No.
Why not?
Q&A only. During the
नहीं हो
Q&A.
रहा, English नहीं हो रहा.
if
Ready?
Are the finalists here?
Have the finalists absconded?
We are still here. I think we are still here. We are just trying to think. Last
We are
one.
still here. Very good.
Yeah.
She thinks that she's still here.
I would
Yeah,
like
yeah,
to
you're-
apologize in advance if we mess up some facts or if this goes down very wrong.
You know, I think just 2 minutes, please. Please.
Yeah, please, 2 minutes. Yeah.
Think carefully, yeah. 2 minutes. I'll give you 3 minutes. 50 ko will begin.
You are the best, Sushri.
मेरे को मक्खन मार के कुछ नहीं बनने वाला बट ओके
Back to Mira.
So me and Abhishek thought that we should probably get into formals and like improve the setting, but it's not really working actually. I don't really feel that much more formal now.
See, they took efforts, okay? Now you guys have to make their efforts count.
Please step up and let our efforts be worth it at least.
Try our best. I'm speaking this from both the teams, but we would like to apologize in advance if we mess up the facts or if we
See,
just
that's up to your opposition. No? Your opposition should not point them out.
yeah.
Easy.
Don't be worried. Just try your best.
And make use of the time that you have, okay?
Mm-hmm. Also, before we start, I do have a few additional pointers that I would like to give you all before you'll start. So we can step up the game for the finals. I have
Yes,
high
sir.
expectations.
Please show us your guidance, sir.
Okay.
किधर गया guidance?
Now you want me to give? He's waiting.
Where is everyone else?
Rachel, Uzma, Spencer. Okay, Spencer's here. Rachel, Uzma.
We have 1 minute more.
Yeah, we are here.
Oh my god,
Oh
the
my
sound
God.
of Rachel's
Wait.
voice only is like.
Made her
Is she getting
presence be
chased by?
felt.
Is she getting chased by zombies or something?
I'm sure that's how she's feeling.
But yeah,
The zombie in question here is.
if you see my
another
book,
topic.
I have used a lot of resources. One resource being my dad. So yeah, he's
One of
very
the
good at
perks of doing this from home.
Mhm. Oh, right. Yeah, you could just have a board of directors kind of meet and like you search this, you
The
search this.
thing
you
is,
just give the
we loved US. I'm a fan of US. I follow a lot of their history, although they are like rednecks and most of their stuff is imperialism and all of that. But then, so this shouldn't be hard. But the thing is, dates and the 2002 mark is like because there are so many things that just go way beyond this date, and you can't say it because you already know the outcome, but you can't say it. So it's going to be tough to actually shut up. And I think that was your aim. So well done,
Yep.
judges. No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Tread carefully.
It's going to be fine, Rachel.
Self-care.
Man,
Self-care.
you're not treating this like an exam. It's not an exam.
But
It's
it's,
just a debate.
But still, it's there are so many constraints.
No, give your best.
And it's exciting. So it's like I think I'm all riled up because of that. It's just
See, you're raising the expectations by saying this, okay? Live up to them.
Yeah.
Like you're taking so much tension. I'm like, okay, maybe. you'll
Elton
have
has very
something-
high expectations. Elton has very high expectations.
Yeah.
Okay? Like,
No, but my opponent is like my FE friend. Like we only
Wait,
met in FE, and
Abhishek,
There are no
you're-
friends here. There are no
wait,
friends
wait.
here.
Abhishek, you're telling my expectations are high. What was the scores you gave yesterday? Whose score sheet at a higher tally, my friend?
thank God I was with Elton yesterday.
Abhishek is like, I'm not going to answer that. I'm not.
Some things are better left unsaid, my friend.
Wait, your no answer doesn't mean denial. Means you just don't want to.
It means I can neither confirm nor deny.
Mm-hmm. So are we starting or what?
Yeah, Elton. Yeah, you should give your remarks.
We can start.
Okay.
But
So there are a few things that I want you all to also incorporate into this debate. One is, what is stopping you all from supporting your own teammate? If your own teammate is proving a point, there are so many ways where you can show your support to. There is snapping of your fingers. There's this. There is the visual nod. There is a reason why all of y'all are on screen at the same time, so we can see all of y'all together. With that being said, what is stopping you all from distracting your opponents? You have your face, you have your nods, you have everything that you can do. When your opposition is saying something or giving a speech, you can be as distracting as possible without being insulting, or don't just straight up start dancing or anything. I mean, at least be like, this point, I'm not really happy with this point. This point is something. Just do some actions. That's how you do even in real. In real, we actually end up banging the tables and all that crap. But since we can't do that, our parents will kill us. So we will stick to the snapping and the clapping. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to say was, please keep your points concise. Questions are questions, not an opening statement. You have to keep your questions as per a time format. Your answers should be in that time format, and so is your comment supposed to be that way. Please don't make it like, oh, I'm going to give an entire history because I want to just ask one sentence. And yeah, I guess that's one thing I want to see different. Maybe you can try some other ways of speaking. There are so many things you can do in a debate. It's not necessary you have to give a speech straightforward. You can use quotes. You can start. You don't even need to start with a salutation. Abhishek is very familiar with first giving an entire long paragraph worth of explanation and quotes and a poem perhaps, and then starting off with a salutation. I mean, that's what we were actually taught in school. So we can give kudos to that. So yeah, that's what we all can introduce in yours. Anything else, Abhishek? Do you have any suggestions that you want to see?
I think, Elton has probably covered everything that I would have told you all, but a few things that I will still repeat probably, I have said it yesterday, I have said it before today as well, but I'll say it again. See, just give your best. Don't see it as a competition. Don't see it as something that you have to win. Just at the end of the day, if you replayed this and you heard it or you watch it again, would you be satisfied with it? Would you be satisfied with what you have done? So just ensure that, you set your own benchmark, you beat your own benchmark. And in the refutation round, just try to nail down the opposition to one place. Your refutation round is like a boxing match. You do not have to drag it all your rounds. You can literally finish off by the third or fourth minute if you put your opposition in a corner and you make them admit that what they are supporting is wrong or cannot happen, or they end up saying something even by mistake that supports your point. So I have waited yesterday for that knockout punch, it didn't come. I waited today for that knockout punch, it didn't come. This is the final. I hope I will get that knockout punch in the refutation today. And if the knockout punch comes, that's it. The debate is won right there. It doesn't matter what happens after it. So if you all give me that knockout punch.
One more question. So the person who is giving the opening speech, can she or he ask the first question to the opposition?
No. whoever makes the opening statement cannot raise or answer the first point or first question in a refutation round.
Okay.
It's like tennis.
Exactly.
One
Yeah.
who
It's like
serves doesn't receive. Okay. Also, one more thing is that you all also need to show a little bit of fire. Like it's a debate.
exactly.
Don't be so formal with each other. Maybe like it's okay to be a little mean and a little witty, and use more importantly, stop placing your own points. Like okay, I get it. You have a good point, but keep it for your next question. Use the opposition's point and twist that. So that is what I want to really see. I'm really excited. And yeah, also the questions can be very narrow questions. You don't have to keep an open-ended question with the answer can be any format. You can ask a question in a particular way that you know this is going to be an output of a question.
Actually correct. Yes. I think, Elton and I have given you all enough of, a blueprint to how to win. Let's see, Elton, if anyone can walk on the path and execute it. It would be exciting.
I hope all of you heard very carefully.
We just stressed them out.
No, don't stress. Don't stress. Just be, give yourself an opportunity and give your best.
Okay, so can we begin?
Yep.
Are you sure they're going to say yes or?
No, I was waiting.
Sorry,
Everyone has
sorry,
dropped
yes.
in their own word.
Yes.
Okay, wait, I'll.
All the best, guys.
All the best to all four of you all. All the best, Kritika. I don't mean any of my actions in this debate. Please. Disclaimers are out, okay?
All the best to all four of you all.
Rachel saying that has increased my expectations. Just saying.
Yeah, when you meet once college reopens, there should be that thing, oh, you said that, now you watch. Yeah.
Dange karwaega Abhishek.
When you say that, on the side note, our college is going to open on Wednesday, so
that is wonderful. That is wonderful.
Rachel, let's hang out during the lunchtime. Okay, we need to talk some
First
business.
of all, I didn't know college was opening on Wednesday.
No, there is no.
What a sad note.
Oh, it's not. A lot of people.
No official notice as such. So
no official.
let's wait on it.
Yeah, let's keep our hopes up. I want to see.
Okay. Let's let them begin.
Let's start.
Let me just ensure that we're streaming and then we can begin.
We are streaming.
No. I'll begin when we are. Okay, we are. All the best. Don't be scared. Give it your best. I'll be reading the time stipulations and the motion once again. Okay. So the time stipulation for the finals are as follows. A 3-minute opening speech has to be given and a 3-minute closing speech has to be given. A warning bell after 2 minutes 30 seconds, or rather a message will be sent, and one after the time has ended. Then no new points can be introduced after the warning bell. A contestant